Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Motivational Monday. My name is Kira. I am your host. And you already know that Monday and this time that we get to spend together is one of my favorite times of the week. And I've got a lot of things that could be my favorite time of the week. But the fact that we get to come together and get better together and grow together every Monday morning is so good. So today's topic for Motivational Monday, we all know, right? It is National Nutrition Month. So for me, nutrition is a lot more than just the food that you put in your body. Nutrition covers a lot of different layers. Last week, we talked about easy ways to boost your nutrition. And everyone's nutritional journey is very different, very unique. Everyone has different needs. There's not really a cookie cutter, one size fits all equation, which I know is different than sometimes what we're told. So last week, we talked about the easy ways to boost nutrition. This week, we're talking about the importance of hydration and how to start combating dehydration. Next week, we're talking about the effects of alcohol and coffee on the body, which can be a really controversial topic, but I just say like maybe sometimes we need some different views and some different opinions out there, and I'm usually the one who has the different views and the different opinions and has the science to back it up. And then the last week, I forget what we were doing the last week, but it's in my scheduling. I just forgot to look before we came onto the session. So stay tuned. Last Monday in March, we do not have a Motivational Monday. So you might know that we're currently in season 2 of Motivational Monday. And at the end of every season, there's one Monday off. I'll be giving you a worksheet. You'll be able to actually like reflect on the past 3 months, the past quarter, the past series of growth that you had, potentially be able to pick like what the main category that you're looking to grow in is, because we talk about 12 different topics over the course of 3 months, at least 12 different topics. So with that, we cover a lot. I want to give you all time to actually digest and absorb it. And then from there, we start back fresh in April. So I'm really excited. Today's conversation, oh, I feel like I should give you all some updates. So, update, we all know my two priorities in life, right? Sleep and Spanish. Actually, I want to know what your top priorities are in life. Drop it in the chat what your top priorities in life are currently. And maybe you don't know. Maybe it's just like I'm just trying to survive, which is fine. Or maybe you're like, I really would love to have like 15 minutes to myself every day. Whatever it is, let me know in the chat. You can list as many as you want. As many top priorities as you have, go for it. Get crazy. Let's get crazy together. Uh, so my two top priorities are sleep and Spanish. I did a 1 month boot camp challenge. It was amazing last month, and I just started my 6 month fluency course today. And in the first, I slept so bad last night. And I haven't been sleeping well for weeks, and I'm a good sleeper. Like, this isn't a normal thing. I believe that there are some things happening in the stars that are preventing me from sleeping well. So with that, I did not sleep well last night. And I'm like, if I want to retain a whole new language, I need some sleep because my brain, we talked about this in the last episode that we did in February, how sleep is so important for you. Your brain doesn't record memories during the daytime, right? Your brain records and stores memory while you're in REM sleep. So I'm like, hello, if I'm trying to remember a language, I should probably get a bunch of sleep. And I didn't get a lot of sleep. It's whatever. I'm gonna take a nap after a bunch of my meetings. But I hopped on to today's first lesson, and one of the first things he says is that if you want to learn Spanish, you need to, one, not look at it as a sprint, which some of you, if you've heard me talk about anything, you've heard me talk about the 0.3% growth daily. If you only grow 0.3% daily, at the end of the year, it's 109%, and you're an entirely new person. So some people are like, I want to grow 100% in one day, and it's so unrealistic. So that's what this man is talking about. And then he goes on to say that if you want to remember Spanish, you need to get sleep and you need to build the habit of sleep into your schedule. I'm like, hello, I had it all right all along, and it was just something I was intuitively doing even before I really started studying sleep. So it's just fun and exciting, and I'm gonna work on getting more sleep. I really am putting in the work. I bought the silk eye mask. I take my magnesium. I wear my 100% blue light blockers at night. It's whatever. It is what it is. But I figured you all were doing an update, but let's see. Cool. We have priorities for sleep, health overall. This is a perfect month for that. I would like it to be sleep, but I have not been successful. I really think that changing these big parts of our lives, I mean, sleep in an ideal world, right? It takes up at least a third of our day. So changing our habits around that, it takes time and it takes focus and it takes intention. So just even if you go to bed 5 minutes earlier than you went to bed last week, that's a win. We like the little wins matter, and being positive with your little wins will get you in a greater mindset to get to where you want to go. Spanish, running a golf tournament, I love it. Kirsten says top priority, trying to figure out what my top priorities are. I'm having the same sleep issues and I'm a good sleeper too. Yeah, I mean, astrologically, there are some things happening. That's all I know. Family time, health, aw, deeper connection in my faith. That's beautiful. Working out 3 to 5 days per week, eating healthy, and not being so hard on myself. I love that some of what your goals are and what your top priorities are the internal work. Because you all know that's what we've been focusing on in the Being Human First series. Sleep, daily regimen of exercise, hydration. Today is perfect for that conversation. Travel home more, finding space for peace, eating healthier and cleaner. Beautiful. Prioritizing my personal time is the most valuable commodity. Stop. Actually, don't stop. Keep it up. Because the fact that you, like so many of you, have that internal goal makes me so happy because that's everything we've been focusing on this quarter. I could get tears in my eyes. I'm not gonna cry, but I could. Maybe I am a little bit. But the fact that you all are like reframing into that internal satisfaction is so beautiful. And I'll drop a little plug. We have Motivational Monday today. Don't mind me. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. We have Motivational Monday today, but we have Being Human First, work and life satisfaction, the last episode of our Being Human First series on Wednesday. So it's at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And we're going to be talking about, again, like finding that internal sense of satisfaction. We're going to be talking about the different seasons of life, the different rhythms of life, how we are so much more than just this flat little thing where we just have one purpose. We've got so much going on. We are dynamic, multidimensional creatures, and remembering that and honoring that is so important. So we have an actual conversation to have, and I'm so happy that it was an 8-minute intro into the conversation because I'm actually a little bit nervous about today's topic, talking about hydration. And I'm not nervous for any other reason other than I ran a hydration business for 5 years. And I know so much and I've studied so much, and I just want to be really intentional about what I teach you, and I don't want to go too deep, and I don't want to like bring you down different rabbit holes that you don't need to go down. So I was like, maybe today will be a shorter session. It probably won't be a shorter session because I just had a longer intro, but okay, without further ado, we're going to get into the topic of hydration. So before we even get into the conversation, yes, we have a conversation. Yes, we have a YouTube video. I want to know, how much water do you think you drink a day? If you have an awareness in ounces, I would love to hear that. But if you just have an awareness in like glasses or cups or liters or whatever it is, let me know. And while you're doing that, I'm going to drink a little bit of water. And if you don't have water near you now or at any point during the day, maybe the first step is having water near you and thinking about it, or getting a bottle that you really love. Come on, are you kidding me? It's a sandblasted bottle that says Awakening with a lotus on it with blue glass from Italy. What? Of course I want to drink out of this. Okay, Beth is honest. I love it. 0. Woo! Most of my water is from my 2 cups of coffee I drink. Wow. Maybe 3 to 4 glasses a day if I even remember. Really depends. Patricia, you're amazing. 84.5 ounces. So good. Some of you know that you drink like 3 mason jars a day. Some of you know the size of your Stanley cups. Like there's just an awareness, right? 32 but improving. Beautiful. 16 ounces. 72 to 80, 72, 50 to 60. Okay. Cool. Well, almost all of us are under consuming water, which is fine. I'm sure there was a point in my life where I used to, but I've also always just been water obsessed, which is why I started a water business, right? So there's a lot that goes into water and hydration. And again, there's so much that I could say. And I want to keep it really clear and really concise. If you have any questions at any point, drop it in the chat. I probably know the answer to it. I've the level of like teaching that I've done around water, traveling the country, holding seminars, like it's been pretty wild. So I know a lot of things, but I'm not going to dive into a lot of things unless some of you ask me. So with that being said, there I think like the first thing when it comes to nutrition, and this is how I run my life, and this is my mentality. When you're looking at nutrition, a lot of nutrition is focused on the foods that you put in your body or the physical activity that you get. However, if you start looking at what your body is made of on a cellular level, you're about 70% water on a cellular level. On a molecular level, so deeper than your cells, your molecules, on a molecular level, you are 99% water. So regardless if you're using the 70% on a cellular level or 99% on a molecular level, you're made almost entirely of water. So it doesn't matter how much broccoli you're eating or how many marathons you're running if you're not drinking enough water. And we live in a society that has taught us the opposite of that and has placed our focus on everything other than hydration. There's been more conversations around hydration over the past few years, which has been so beautiful. But that's the thing I want you to think about is I am made of water. I should drink water. Because the way that your body works, and we've got a YouTube video that doesn't go too deep into it, but it does go in a little bit. Your body, everything in your body is uses water to function. So when they say at a minimum drink 8, they don't even say at a minimum. They say drink 8 glasses of water a day. If you drink 8 glasses of water a day, that's like the minimum that your body needs to just simply exist. Because to pump your blood, to breathe, to think, to blink, to have conversation. Actually, not even, these are just like basic things. To dream, to get up and go to the bathroom. All of that uses water. Every single thing that you do is fueled and uses water. So, yeah, eat all the broccoli you want, go for all the runs that you want, but please do not forget about hydration and how significant it is in your body. So, with that, the 8 glasses of water a day being like the bare minimum for existence, most of us are severely and chronically dehydrated. Like most of the American population, I think is it 90%? I haven't looked at the statistic in a year. I haven't done my little hydration business in a year, but I'm pretty sure last time I was studying this, it was about 90% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. So seeing the numbers that you all dropped in our chat, I appreciate you all for being honest. There's no judgment here. Like the only way that we can grow is by acknowledging where we're at now. But with that, most Americans are chronically dehydrated. We don't really have a culture necessarily where we know to drink water and have a steady intake of water. So a lot of people think that there are two main signs that we talk about societally as signs of dehydration: dry mouth and dark urine. Now, the dark urine is a great test to see. You can smell if you're dehydrated when you're urinating. You can see it. The lighter your urine is, the more hydrated your body is, which is great, right? That's not always a foolproof thing. I've seen that not be foolproof. But also, the thirst. Most people think that when they're dehydrated, they will get thirsty. But what's wild is that when thirst is one of the last signs that your body gives you for dehydration. Dehydration can show up in a lot of different ways. It can show up in arthritis. It can show up in migraines. It can show up in ulcerative colitis. It can show up, I'm trying to think of other normal things. It can show up as hypertension, struggling with like your blood being able to move through your body. Your blood is made of 80% water. So, all of these other things, a lot of the struggles that we have, whether it's skin issues or our hair is dry and brittle, or we have chronically chapped lips, or what are some other common things? I think that's a good list of things. Those are all typically linked to dehydration. Now, there's a gentleman. His name is, oh, I will butcher his name so bad, but it's okay. It's F. Botmangelli. He writes the book "You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty," and it's a book about. This book is fascinating, phenomenal, mind-boggling, just tickles all your brain, wild. In this book, so I forget which war he was in. It's not a war I don't think that America was a part of, but it was a different country, maybe in India somewhere. And he became a prisoner of war, but he was also a doctor. And he had, while he was in the prison, he was a prisoner of war. So it wasn't like you did something bad in America and you go to prison and like you need water and you need food and people watch out for you ish, whatever. When you're a prisoner of war, no one necessarily cares about you, like you're the enemy. So all of these people were so stressed out as prisoners of war, and they kept getting ulcerative colitis. They were so stressed out. Ulcerative colitis is caused partially by stress. So with that, the guards wouldn't do anything about it. No one was helping anyone, but they knew that there was a doctor in house, so they started bringing people to him in his jail cell. But all he had was a sink and a toilet, so he started giving his clients water. He started giving the other prisoners water, and within 10 minutes, there are ulcerative colitis pains were decreased about 80 to 90%. So we started doing significant studies during his time in prison with the prisoners on the effects of water on the body. Now, he never thought he was going to make it out alive. He was a prisoner of war. Like, chances are you're not making it out, right? And he went to the prison court and sat in front of the judge, and they were assessing his time there. And he was like, please, if anything, it doesn't matter necessarily if I make it out, but please make sure that my research gets out into the public. That's how phenomenal his research was. And this was the first time he ever had hope for getting out. The judge told him that he would absolutely be getting out and that he would be able to share his message because they saw the work that he was doing. So he ended up getting released from prison about 2 to 3 years early, and he declined it because he was in the middle of 2 to 3 thousand scientific trials with prisoners, and he needed to finish his studies and he needed to see the effects on water. So he declined it and he stayed there through his full term as a prisoner, whatever. Ended up writing a book about how water is the most important thing in our bodies, and every single function of the body is based off of water, and that we kind of got it wrong in our society with the way that water works, because scientifically and in the health world, there's not a lot of focus on water. Water is a big anomaly. There's not a lot of understanding around it. And I see it as one of the reasons why so many people struggle, because again, we're made of water, right? We're not made of reading books. We're not made of kale salad. We're not made of Pilates. We're made of water. So with all of that, I'm going to show you a YouTube video. It says, it's called "What Would Happen If You Didn't Drink Water?" And it's a really good one. And again, like it's not like this wildly deep information, but it's the basics that we should probably know as creatures that are made of water. Enjoy.
Water is virtually everywhere, from soil moisture and ice caps to the cells inside our own bodies. Depending on factors like location, fat index, age, and sex, the average human is between 55 and 60% water. At birth, human babies are even wetter. Being 75% water, they are swimmingly similar to fish. But their water composition drops to 65% by their first birthday. So what role does water play in our bodies? And how much do we actually need to drink to stay healthy? The H2O in our bodies works to cushion and lubricate joints, regulate temperature, and to nourish the brain and spinal cord. Water isn't only in our blood. An adult's brain and heart are almost 3/4 water. That's roughly equivalent to the amount of moisture in a banana. Lungs are more similar to an apple at 83%, and even seemingly dry human bones are 31% water. If we are essentially made of water and surrounded by water, why do we still need to drink so much? Well, each day we lose 2 to 3 liters through our sweat, urine, and bowel movements, and even just from breathing. While these functions are essential to our survival, we need to compensate for the fluid loss. Maintaining a balanced water level is essential to avoid dehydration or overhydration, both of which can have devastating effects on overall health. At first detection of low water levels, sensory receptors in the brain's hypothalamus signal the release of antidiuretic hormone. When it reaches the kidneys, it creates aquaporins, special channels that enable blood to absorb and retain more water, leading to concentrated dark urine. Increased dehydration can cause notable drops in energy, mood, skin moisture, and blood pressure, as well as signs of cognitive impairment. A dehydrated brain works harder to accomplish the same amount as a normal brain, and it even temporarily shrinks because of its lack of water. Overhydration, or hyponatremia, is usually caused by overconsumption of water in a short amount of time. Athletes are often the victims of overhydration because of complications in regulating water levels in extreme physical conditions. Whereas the dehydrated brain amps up the production of antidiuretic hormone, the overhydrated brain slows or even stops releasing it into the blood. Sodium electrolytes in the body become diluted, causing cells to swell. In severe cases, the kidneys can't keep up with the resulting volumes of dilute urine. Water intoxication then occurs, possibly causing headache, vomiting, and in rare instances, seizures or death. But that's a pretty extreme situation. On a normal day-to-day basis, maintaining a well-hydrated system is easy to manage for those of us fortunate enough to have access to clean drinking water. For a long time, conventional wisdom said that we should drink 8 glasses a day. That estimate has since been fine-tuned. Now, the consensus is that the amount of water we need to imbibe depends largely on our weight and environment. The recommended daily intake varies from between 2.5 to 3.7 liters of water for men and about 2 to 2.7 liters for women, a range that is pushed up or down if we are healthy, active, old, or overheating. While water is the healthiest hydrator, other beverages, even those with caffeine like coffee or tea, replenish fluids as well. And water within food makes up about a fifth of our daily H2O intake. Fruits and vegetables like strawberries, cucumbers, and even broccoli are over 90% water and can supplement liquid intake while providing valuable nutrients and fiber. Drinking well might also have various long-term benefits. Studies have shown that optimal hydration can lower the chance of stroke, help manage diabetes, and potentially reduce the risk of certain types of cancer. No matter what, getting the right amount of liquid makes a world of difference in how you'll feel, think, and function day to day.
So there we go. We're learning more and more about water and hydration. So I've got a couple of final notes before we close out. If you have any questions on that video, again, feel free to drop them in the chat. I hope that this is illuminating for you. If you're stressed out, if you feel like changes aren't happening in your life, if you feel like you're running in the same circle, like imagine, this is what I imagine. Imagine you know, when you walk outside and it's like rainy season and you come across a puddle that's kind of just been there and that's kind of like green and slimy because there's been no movement and it's just been sitting there? And then imagine like, so you know the feeling of that, right? And then imagine the feeling of like a fresh flowing waterfall and like how much energy there is and how much change there is. So maybe if you're not drinking enough water, you could relate to that feeling of that little pile of water. And maybe just adding more water into your life can give you the movement and the change and the positivity and the evolution that you've been looking for. I know it's really easy to be like, oh, water's not the answer. After studying it for years and helping so many people with so many health issues, I mean, what I've seen with water is wild. We won't necessarily go into it, but I will say just look at it as something that's serious and something that's important because it really, truly is. So, I've got some final notes. A couple of things. Salt or water follows salt into the body. There are different types of salt, some that are good for you, some that aren't. We won't go into that either. But I would start incorporating electrolytes into your daily regimen because having those electrolytes, hydration follows those into the body. So your body is easier able to absorb the hydration and you just feel that like electrical charge in your body, which is really great. We won't talk about which water is the best for you or worst for you because that'll just take us down a rabbit hole. I think just increasing your intake in water as a whole will be a great change. And then there's one last thing that I wanted to show. So, some of you know that like what started my health journey is watching my grandmother deteriorate from Alzheimer's. Well, I don't want to play the video, but I just want to show you this little picture. So, this is a normal brain. All of our organs are meant to be engorged in water, which means that they're meant to be fully saturated with water, squishy, malleable, full of water. Same thing with our brain. But if you look at people with Alzheimer's, they don't look like a nice, juicy, crisp, crunchy grape, right? It looks like a dried up prune. And when you start to study Alzheimer's, when you start to study dementia, a lot of what you see is that it's chronic dehydration and you're working with patients who literally don't drink any water. So for me, one of the reasons this right here is the biggest reason why I started a water business because I was like, dang, if I don't have to get Alzheimer's and if water, like if it's this simple, then perfect, sign me up. I'm here and I'm going to help people see that as well. So the water that goes into your body matters. It affects everything. It affects your brain function, like it said in the video, all of your organs, everything. But also, as you consider what your family went through, right? Like my grandmother had Alzheimer's. I don't want to get Alzheimer's, so I do as much as I can to avoid that. And this was a huge piece for that. So I just wanted to share that. That's kind of it for this week's Motivational Monday. Next week, we'll be talking about coffee and alcohol and the effects on the body. If you all have any questions, let me know. I did put the survey back in. So after this, you'll see a pop-up window pop up with a survey. Please fill it out. Let us know where you're at. And then at the end of season 2, we'll actually have like a survey that is more inclusive of the evolution that you've seen in yourself over the past 3 months. So outside of that, I hope that you drink more water. I hope you stay hydrated. I hope you go to the bathroom more. Some people don't drink water because they don't want to go to the bathroom. Going to the bathroom is so important for your body. It is ridiculously important. So I hope you drink more water. I hope you go to the bathroom more. I hope you work on getting more sleep. And outside of that, I will see you for Being Human First, our Connect series on Wednesday. It'll be me and Dr. Dave and one of our guides. So excited to see you there. Sending you all lots and lots of love. Have a beautiful week, and we'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.